Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Wellness Wednesdays with me, Yehuda Shamroth, a nurse anesthetist of over 30 years in the United States and Israel, and currently a practitioner of traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture, herbology, and health coaching. And now I'm known in these parts of Beit Shemesh and Jerusalem as the nurse that does acupuncture. Please feel free to watch this video live on Facebook or live on YouTube, where you can also access all previous Wellness Wednesday webinars. And if you give it a thumbs up and click on the bell for notifications, you'll see when new ones come in. It's usually on Wednesdays. Every now and then we have to skip one from illness or weather or something, a holiday, but mostly they're every Wednesday, and you can click on and get notified of any kind of recordings. You can watch from all over the world at any time at your convenience. Please feel free to post comments and request topics related to health, nutrition, and wellness that you want to hear about in the future. So without further ado, I'd like to continue our weekly webinar with a little bit of update on COVID-19. We do have a very exciting guest today, Rena Yudkowsky, who is a memory expert. So we're going to focus our topic today on memory matters and why your memory matters and what you eat matters and so on. But first, I give a little bit of a COVID update because some things do change, some things do stay the same. I'm going to do a little sharing here, and I like to give a brief slideshow so it's not boring while you're listening to me. Let's see. Okay. So the basics are still in place. These are the tips for protecting yourself and others from COVID-19. Over here in Israel, about 75% of our population has been immunized now. And, for whether you believe in vaccines or don't, we talked about that at length last week. People are getting protected. They feel they're being protected. And we hope that this is going to be a move to more health, better health towards the future, so we can go back to somewhat of a normal life, going out to stores, going out to restaurants, and things like this. But you still want to continue wearing a mask because it's an airborne droplet kind of virus. It stays in your nose. People who are wearing their masks under their nose, that you might as well not wear the mask at all. I really feel I have to hold myself back from saying things to people because it's not protecting anybody. And whether the masks even protect you or not, or whether you've had the vaccine or not, or whether you've had corona or not, like I have, I still wear my mask anyway out of, to be courtesy to other people, even if you don't believe it even works. I actually do think it provides a barrier. Somebody's sneezing right next to you in the store, you're not going to breathe it in your nose as easily. Trust me, if you have a mask on your face. Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. As a nurse, I've always taught my kids that. They know this. You want to eat a nutrient-dense diet. Stay away from processed foods. We talked about this in almost every single webinar. We want to eat foods containing phytonutrients like quercetin, which I'm going to talk about today, and optimize your vitamin D. Now, vitamin D is very, very good for many things. We talked about vitamin D at length last week. Sorry, I'm looking for my little cursor, and I'm lost it. It's over here, and it's got two screens. There. Okay, that's not the one I want. Oh, here we go. Great. Yeah, just briefly, I put this up every single week. These are the recommended dosages of supplements that people should take. And they say the best defense against any virus, especially the coronavirus, is to keep yourself healthy. Get enough sleep, get enough food, get enough water, stay away from processed stuff and alcohol, and take the following supplements if you really can. If you can't, then you can't. But these things, I don't want to go through them one by one again because it's just we do it every week. But of course, there's, in terms of discussing them at length. Vitamin D we discussed last week. Vitamin C, zinc, and quercetin. Melatonin helps, and probiotics are a must because these days we have digestive systems that are not in great shape with all the processed foods and things we've been eating through the years, and all the additives to food and all the pollutions in the air. We went through that on a detox webinar, and how we know that the immune system resides mostly in the small intestine, 80% of it. So you want to keep your gut health very, very strong. And you want to take probiotics. And if you are living in Israel, I can give you a great recommendation, or even out of Israel, please privately message me and I can tell you the ones that are recommended. You want to get a combination prebiotic and probiotic, and one that doesn't dissolve until it gets to your small intestine. So I've got a good one here in Israel especially. And again, last week we discussed vitamin D. It maintains your calcium levels. It's great for bone health. It's great for your healthy skeleton, and also has to do with, it has all the signs. Excuse me, I'm just getting caught ahead of myself. Vitamin D helps keep you very, very strong through, it's antiviral. It helps with viruses. It helps with hypertension, autoimmune diseases, diabetes, and cancer, because it does build your immune system, and it also helps decrease inflammation. Okay, so this week I really want to talk about quercetin, which is a natural antihistamine. And we don't really talk a lot about quercetin. We just started hearing it about a lot of it since the COVID started. I know I didn't know that much about it, but it has to do with, it's a natural antihistamine, is what you feel when you have an allergic reaction to something. When you have an allergic reaction, what happens? Your whole body releases the mast cells, which regulate the allergic responses, okay, and autoimmunity and inflammation. They produce the histamine and inflammatory cytokines that make you feel terrible during the allergy response. So quercetin can do this naturally and much more mildly, and it's known for a lot of other benefits as well. It reduces fatigue in your body, and Duke University study found that quercetin is effective as another drug called cromolyn in inhibiting mast cell histamine release. More effective. It blocks all these cytokines, so you don't have that storm that they talk about, the cytokine storm during the viral infections. So if you have allergies, food sensitivities, autoimmunity, inflammation, or viral infections, quercetin is great because it's a really natural anti-inflammatory as well. Just want to say a few more benefits. It fights free radicals that are in your system, is antioxidant in nature. These are all the foods. Any foods that are red foods, or there's some green ones too, actually, but red foods in particular, raw onions, red apples, red grapes, kale, spinach. These are the highest, contain the highest levels of quercetin in foods. And berries, broccoli, tomatoes, asparagus, green tea, you see them all on the list. These, if you can eat these foods, if they're not allergic, some people can't eat peppers, for instance, but it does reduce inflammation and helps the body's natural response to stress. There have been studies at Duke University showing that it helps in rheumatoid arthritis because, that's an inflammatory process. It helps reduce the risk of cancer. It helps in neurological diseases. And I thought in this episode in particular, I found that quercetin can help with prevent neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, because of all the oxidative stress we get from all the chemical reactions that go onto the body. And there are these things called free radicals that are very damaging to your body. This helps dissolve the free radicals, and because there's an imbalance of the free radicals, and the antioxidant properties of quercetin can really fight them. And so the research shows, on rats especially, that it can help protect against toxic effects on the nervous system. It can help relieve allergy symptoms. It can help prevent infections, especially respiratory, which is why we're recommended to take it now. It can help reduce the risk of heart disease. It's neuroprotective and cardioprotective. It can help reduce blood pressure. And quercetin can be eaten. You can eat it with all these foods, or you can take supplements, which I showed on the other screen. They say up to 500 milligrams a day is enough to help prevent all the different problems with oxidation and cytokine problems and allergies. So it's good to keep that in mind when you're eating your foods for COVID protection. Okay, so we're going to get on now to a little foods again, but having to do with your memory. And then we'll bring on our guest, Rena, who we're looking forward to hearing from very, very much. But, we know there's plenty of reasons to take care of our diets, especially when we live in an environment that's just so difficult to get really fresh, whole foods. We talked at length about organic eating. Organic eating is probably the best way to eat. And if you can't do that, you want to try to just keep eating fresh vegetables and foods whenever you can, even if it's not organic. But we do know that there are, when it comes to the way your body functions, your mind and your memory has to be functioning as well. We know that the food we eat not only makes us gain weight or have us heart health or with protecting against viruses, but the food we eat affects our mental health in a very big way. And there are big culprits out there for triggering stress and anxiety that might be part of your daily diet. You might want to think about this. So just as there are foods that can bring out feelings of depression, anxiety, and brain fog, I hear this every day. People are telling me they feel bad. And the first thing I think about is looking at their diet, really, before I even reach for the acupuncture needles. You want to have some foods. There are some foods to avoid and some foods to add. I'm going to talk about them just briefly and then go into a little more in detail. But the basics are, you want to avoid sugar and aspartame, which is a sweetener, and caffeine. Okay, caffeine, there's a little bit of controversy about that. Some people think it's great, and some people think you have to be careful about it. But sugar in general has been proven to cause anxiety in some people, and because of the sugar spike that it causes in the blood. And so you want to enjoy your sugar in moderation. We've talked a lot about sugar. Aspartame. Consuming high levels of aspartame has been associated with depression, and its metabolites are toxic to the brain. Caffeine, you mostly want to avoid it if you have anxiety or if you have heart palpitations and things like that. But mostly we'll talk about later that some people think caffeine is actually very good for brain health. We'll talk to Rena and see what she thinks. We can add to our diets. Dark leafy greens. Leafy greens are full of folate, which is one of the main nutrients for reducing and managing anxiety. Folate works in concert with B12 and B6 to prevent anxiety and other mental health issues. So make sure you have enough of your B vitamins. I recommend often spirulina, which is the most natural protein substance you can get in a plant form, but also has very, very high levels of B12 and B6. You can eat your purple fruits and veggies. Dark blue and purple foods contain special antioxidants. We talked about antioxidants, and they are incredibly useful at battling inflammation. It's great for brain health. You can eat tree nuts like walnuts, almonds, cashews, macadamia nuts, a very, very good source of dietary fiber and helps your digestive system too, and helps increase your healthy gut bacteria. And so because we know that a well-fed microbiome, that's your healthy gut bacteria and your intestinal system, it will help the brain make neurotransmitters that will counter depression, anxiety, and all those other mental health issues. So it's also very important to note that everybody's body is different. So consulting your physician, your Chinese medicine practitioner, your nurse, your mental health professional, whoever you go to, check regularly for occurring emotional wellness issues, because this is nothing to mess around with. Emotional health is very, very important to us. And if you have something that you feel is serious, or if you have a family member you feel is in a very serious place, in a very dark place, do not hesitate to call for help. Go call your physician or call mental health facilities in your area. Especially with the corona, we know a lot of people have fallen into depression. People have fallen into anger. All kinds of different things have been happening. It's not just fun and games for everybody to stay home. It's very, very stressful. So we want to make sure we keep ourselves healthy at this time. And if you know of anybody in your family or yourself, and you feel like you're at risk of anything dangerous, and harming yourself or others, please contact somebody who can help you. So the question, though, is how does the diet play? How does it work in our brain? How can a healthy diet help cognitive function and memory and our ability to pay attention? So for the last 2 years, people say food is very, very important. We really didn't neglect the diet so much because there are always people out there that cared about healthy eating and healthy foods. I always say that I was never one of those birth mothers that used to make my baby's own baby food and things. I didn't. I was a very healthy eater and a healthy mom, and we had vegetable soup all the time, and we had always had salads on the table. But we had our share of junk food as well. So I realize now that more and more, I think when my son and my daughter were both diagnosed with ADHD, the first thing we were recommended to do was take the sugar out of their diets, which did not help them, by the way, but it made them healthier. But that is always the first place to start, is your diet. So there are multiple studies that show that there are foods that boost the different functions of the brain. For instance, drinking green tea appears to be one of the healthiest drinks for enhancing mental processes. And according to a study at Duke University, it stimulates memory, focus, and concentration. And it even helps reduce stress. And I like to drink my green tea. I don't like to drink tea, truthfully, but I like to drink water. So I make a really strong cup of green tea, and I put it in a liter of water like this. And I put a cup of tea in this water. And before I know it, I've hydrated myself, and I had my cup of green tea. And it tastes good. It tastes better than drinking plain water. So anyway, as moving along, we know that we want to eat foods that are good for the brain, obviously. So I think the biggest foods that are the most popular foods, and it's agreed widely that omega-3 fatty acids are very important to all aspects of health, but especially to your brain health. We eat nuts. We don't have to eat fish. You can eat nuts to replace this kind of thing. They're anti-inflammatory. They have a lot of vitamin E and B6 and high in fiber. And the omega-3s, like salmon, you can get them from salmon and mackerel and herring, all those fish. They're anti-inflammatory. They keep the inflammation down in the nervous system as well. And so if inflammation hurts your body in your knees and in your digestive tract and things like that, it's got to be very damaging in the nervous system as well, in the brain. You want to keep inflammation down everywhere. So we did a whole webinar on inflammation, and it's no joke. We really have to keep ourselves very, very healthy, especially during these times of Corona. I'm looking at my time, Rena. Okay, so again, if you don't want fish, you can eat walnuts, flaxseed, olive oil. All those things contain omega-3s. We know that diet can influence brain function at any age. So start early, and take it on through your parents. So eating any diet with high in fruits, vegetables, nuts, omega-3 foods, and also just healthy, fresh fruits and vegetables will help the youngest people in your family and the oldest people in your family who are dealing with things like dementia. Okay, so I want to skip a lot of this, but I do want to do a little bit about each thing. The fatty fish, we talked about that, but your brain uses omega-3s to build brain and nerve cells. So this is why we need your omega-3s. So make sure you eat enough of them you can take a supplement, or you can eat them in your fish and in your nuts. Okay. One study showed that people who ate baked and broiled fish regularly had more gray matter in their brains. And gray matter contains most of the nerve cells that control decision-making, memory, and emotion. So overall, fatty fish is an excellent choice for your brain health. Coffee. Okay, again, we talked about coffee for a minute there. I have a slide, actually. This is a list. It's too hard to read, but there's many, many foods that enhance brain function and memory and reduce inflammation. And if you want it, please contact me. I'll send you all my materials. We want to talk about the foods that boost brain. Okay, we talked fatty fish, coffee. It can be a highlight of your morning like it is for me. It does increase alertness. It improves your mood. It sharpens your concentration to some degree. But again, drinking coffee long-term, it can be linked to neurological diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's as well. So you just have to do everything in moderation. So in summary, coffee can help boost your alertness and your mood, but it also may protect against Alzheimer's if you drink it in moderation, but not overdo it, because overdoing it too affects other parts of your body like your heart. Okay, blueberries are on this list. Blueberries provide numerous health benefits, as you know. They're deeply colored berries. They deliver they call anthocyanins, a group of plant compounds that are anti-inflammatory, of course, and antioxidant. Everything is anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. This is what we look for. And we know the antioxidants act against oxidative stress and inflammation, and these are the conditions that actually contribute to brain aging and neurodegenerative diseases. So we do know that some of the antioxidants in blueberries have been found to accumulate in the brain and help improve communication between brain cells. And animal studies show that blueberries help improve memory and even may delay short-term memory loss. So in summary, blueberries are packed with antioxidants and may delay brain aging and may improve your memory. Memory. Turmeric. Okay, turmeric is all the buzzword these days. Turmeric is something that we have in our kitchen, and we use it in curry powder. And we know in Chinese medicine, herbology, that is a moving and a warming herb. So if anybody has cold hands, cold feet, we always recommend that they put this in an herbal formula. It's also called curcumin. It's the active ingredient in turmeric, actually. It has been shown to cross the blood-brain barrier. So it can directly enter the brain and benefit the cells there. It's potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. So it may benefit your memory, ease depression, help new brain cells grow. So you can get a lot of benefits from curcumin, from curry powder, from turmeric, including warming your body overall. You can add it to your foods, and you can take supplements as well. Broccoli's on next on the list, packed with powerful plant compounds. We know that it's high with vitamin K, and it's anti-inflammatory and may be neuroprotective as well. Pumpkin seeds. I love pumpkin seeds. I want to check into this later on to see if the ones you buy at the store where they're all dried and salted are really going to count in this category, because everybody loves to snack on pumpkin seeds. But they contain powerful antioxidants to protect the body and brain from free radical damage. And they're an excellent source of magnesium, zinc, and iron, and copper. And we know the zinc repairs the cells, and we do know the zinc deficiency has been linked to many neurological conditions, including Alzheimer's, depression, and Parkinson's disease, and magnesium too, for that matter, with learning and memory. So low magnesium and low zinc are bad for the brain, and so is low copper, low iron, and pumpkin seeds has all these things. dark chocolate for you chocolate lovers out there. Cocoa powder are packed with many brain boosting compounds, including flavonoids, caffeine, and antioxidants. So we know we want to go for antioxidants and anti-inflammatories. And here's another one. There were some studies to back up the people who eat chocolate are performed better in a series of mental tasks, including some involving memory, as opposed to those who rarely ate it. And this was a Duke University study. Another study found that participants who ate chocolate experienced an increased positive feelings compared to participants who ate just plain crackers. Okay, so if you like chocolate, it is maybe a little neuroprotective with the flavonoids, and you can eat it to boost your memory and your mood. Nuts, again, we talked about that. Healthy nuts have healthy fats, antioxidants, vitamin E, and they're very protective to the brain health. And in summary, you can eat as much nuts as you want as long as you're not worried about weight gain. Oranges have vitamin C. We know vitamin C is a powerful antioxidant also and fights off the free radicals. And finally on the list is eggs. Eggs are a great source of several nutrients tied to brain health, including vitamins B6, B12, folate, and choline. So you really want to make sure you know the brain is the most important part of your body. So what do we want to do next? We want to think about all those great foods we can eat for brain health, but we also want to think about the things we should avoid. What should we avoid? Stay away from as far as you can. And every single webinar, when we talk about protecting yourself, your brain health or your digestive health or your overall health, we're always talking, this is the same list of stuff on just about every topic. So it's a repeat for a lot of you people who watch me every week. But we want to stay away from all these things in general if you're trying to lose weight or trying to be healthier, get a better night's sleep, and for your brain health. So these foods will negatively affect your brain. They can impact on your memory and your mood, and they can increase your risk for dementia. And I read a statistic that said estimates predict that dementia will affect more than 65 million people worldwide by 2030. So you can help reduce your risk by changing things and get rid of these worst things in your diet. Sugary foods, obviously. Sugar has been found to be the real evil these days. An excess of sugary drinks, especially, you can of course develop diabetes, and that's also can be very often a precursor to Alzheimer's disease. People don't realize high sugar levels in the blood can increase dementia, even without diabetes. So you want to stay away from fructose, especially because of obesity, high blood pressure, and all that, but also because it helps. Long term, it can lead to dementia, and insulin resistance and things we've talked about in the past. So you want to find. There's a lot of studies about this. There's no dispute. Sugar is the high intake of sugary drinks can increase dementia, and high fructose corn syrup can be especially harmful, causing brain inflammation and impairing memory and learning. Okay, but we need more studies, but they're still out there. Refined carbohydrates, of course, include sugars and highly processed grains, and when they're eaten in large quantities, can also impair brain function. The glycemic load that you get from a big rush of sugar from the carbohydrates does the same damage of inflammation to the whole body, especially the brain. And inflammation is recognized as a risk factor for degenerative diseases in the brain, as we discussed. So high intake of refined carbs are very bad, and they impair your memory and intelligence, as well as put you at risk for dementia. So you want to stay away from processed foods, sugar, flours, things like that. Okay, and this is more of the same. Processed foods contribute to excess fat also, which is also associated with the decline in brain tissue. Additionally, Western-style diets may increase brain inflammation and impair memory. What is the Western diet? We call it the SAD diet. The standard American diet was mostly processed foods and sugar. And we want to move to a diet that's healthy vegetables, low carbohydrates, low sugar, healthy fats, that kind of thing. Trans fats were those things that we find in all of those oils, those bad oils and all the processed foods. We want to stay away from trans fats. Trans fats can be associated with impaired memory and risk of Alzheimer's also. So cutting the trans fats completely, you can increase your unsaturated fats, and it'll be a good strategy for your diet. Okay, back to the aspartame again. It's the artificial sweeteners in many sugar-free products. You got to stay far away from that. It's made of phenylalanine, and some people are really allergic to that. It crosses the blood-brain barrier and disrupts the production of neurotransmitters. Additionally, aspartame is a chemical stressor that may increase the brain's vulnerability to more inflammation. So you really want to stay away from all of these things. And not only we talked about how bad it was for weight gain, because it tricks your brain into thinking that you're still hungry, because it doesn't fill you up. It goes to the part of the hunger center of your brain, tells you you're still more hungry. So that's one problem with aspartame. But the second problem now is it directly affects the brain. It says in a study on mice, it impaired memory and increased oxidative stress. And many animal experiments, you can't experiment on people, but we do know that it has very adverse side effects overall. So you really should cut out the sweeteners, and you find them in soft drinks and sugar-free products, and linked to behavioral and cognitive problems. So again, when my kids had ADHD, the first thing they told us to do was to get off the sugar, which did help their behavior quite a lot, but it wasn't enough for them. But it was really a great thing overall for the family to get off sugar. And the younger you start doing it, the better and easier it is for everybody. My kids are now more healthy than me, and when they see me eating something, I don't eat sugar anymore, but if they see me reaching for a potato chip or something, they'll say, "Mom, you don't want that unhealthy thing." I'm like, okay, they're better than me now, thank God. Okay, so alcohol also in moderation is a great thing, but we do know that there is a problem with abuse of alcohol. But not only that, it disrupts your sleep patterns, it disrupts your memory, and overall alcohol consumption, in moderation is fine, but it can have positive health effects occasionally if you have nice red wine once in a while. But it does cause memory loss, behavioral changes, and sleep disruption, especially in high-risk groups like teens, young adults, and pregnant women. So finally on my list, I've got fish that has high in mercury, and that's a heavy metal. We're going to talk about that sometime. We did talk about that in the detox webinar, but mercury is a heavy metal, and it's a contaminant, and it's a big neurological poisoning. We talked about neurological poisonings that were in additives to foods, and also into when they were farming with, forget the word, farming. Anyways, mercury is full of neurotoxins, and we want to stay far away from any fish. So check into your fish and make sure it's free of mercury. And if you're catching your own fish, make sure you ask what the water is like, the fish that you caught. Because it also increases anxiety too. Mercury does terrible things to the body. Okay, so anyway, in summary, your diet is very important to your health, big impact. We want to eat anti-inflammatory. We want to avoid sugar, refined carbs, unhealthy fats, and processed foods. Insecticides, pesticides. That's the word I couldn't think of. Pesticides full of mercury. Alcohol can cause damage, and we know we can't avoid all these foods completely, but the best thing you can do for your brain is to follow a diet rich in healthy, fresh, whole foods. So without further ado, I'd like to bring in my guest, who's been waiting patiently for me, and she is the brain expert, actually, and she is going to tell us what she thinks of all what we've talked about and what she can recommend. I'm going to get rid of my screen share here. Stop sharing. Bring in Rena. Where are you, Rena? There we go. Sorry. Rena, I want to introduce my dear friend Rena Yudkowsky, who's a neighbor in the Ramat Beit Shemesh, Jerusalem area. Hi, Rena. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi. 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 Thanks for having me.
Okay. I was trying to rush through because I wanted you not to sit so long, but because I want you to have a lot of
it.
Yeah, well, you probably could have taught the whole thing much better. But Rena Yudkowsky is a professional memory coach and a geriatric social worker. She's the founder of an organization called Memory Matters. She teaches online memory improvement courses to midlifers and seniors. And over the past 20 years in the field, she has served as the director of an Alzheimer's unit in an assisted living facility in Maryland, the director of development at a senior enrichment program in Israel, and trainer for dementia caregivers, a facilitator of support groups, and international lecturer on aging topics. So currently, she is the memory coach for an international anti-aging clinic, where Rena does one-to-one coaching and is working on a comprehensive program to prevent dementia. She'll tell us more about that. And at the end of this, she'll tell us how we can reach her. Her website is www.renayudkowsky.com. That when I put this paper down, I will put it on the banner at the bottom. And so she has a Facebook group, which is really great. Memory Matters, Tips and Tricks for Midlifers and Seniors. And without further ado, Rena, welcome to this program.
Thank you so much, Yehudas. I'm really excited to be here with you. For all of you listening, I know you know Yehudas, but I'll just tell you that I really respect her. She is such an amazing combination between, as she does her East meets West stuff, the nurse, and she does acupuncture. It's such a cool combination. So it's always fun to be with Yehudas. Thank you. And yes, you got all those. You got all the foods. The only two things I would add are avocado, but it's those healthy fats.
Healthy fats.
Avocado and olive oil. They say olive oil is also good for the brain. So in addition to everything you said, I would just add those too. But that was really, really helpful. And yes, diet is exceptionally important to our brain health. And I'm going to talk about a few more things in terms of our lifestyle that are important to brain health. And then I want to give you some memory tips, some really practical memory tips.
Rena, I'm going to let you just speak alone. And unless you want to interview style, if you want to just continue on, and then they can focus on you. And that would be
whatever you want. I can take over. I'm good. Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Yohudis. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I can talk for, Yohudis says I can take over. Yeah, I have 18 hours worth of material here, but don't worry. We're just going to do this for a few more minutes. But I'll throw out a lot of information at you that hopefully will be helpful, and you can always contact me for more. Okay, so in addition to the brain healthy food, which is what Yohudis was talking about, I also just want to mention sleep and exercise. So sleep, which she also mentioned, is super important. The reason we're talking about all these lifestyle factors is because 20 years ago, we did not talk about preventing dementia. We didn't know how to prevent dementia. But today, they're saying, the doctors and neurologists are saying, that at least 70% of the risk factors for dementia are preventable. At least 70%. I've heard higher, but I don't even want to say it, but at least 70%. So that means things like smoking, obesity, sedentary lifestyle, all those things that are risk factors for most diseases and for Alzheimer's can be prevented, which is really good news. It means that if we live in the right lifestyle, eat the foods and avoid the foods that Yohudis just said, and we talk about sleep and we talk about cognitive stimulation, social stimulation, a lot of factors go into it, but we have a very good chance of preventing Alzheimer's, or at least preventing the risk factors. And for those of you that are caring for people with dementia or have cared for people with dementia, I know there's a lot of fear there because you don't want to end up like your parent or grandparent that you're caring for that has dementia. So these lifestyle factors are really, really important and very powerful and impactful in terms of preventing dementia. That's the good news. There's a lot we can do, and it's very empowering to know that. Okay, so let's talk about sleep for a second. We all know how we feel when we wake up and you're exhausted. You either didn't sleep well or didn't sleep enough, and you can't think straight, right? You just can't think straight. As opposed to when you get a good 8 hours of sleep, you wake up, you feel energized, you feel like, okay, you can do this. And your cognition is much sharper and stronger throughout the day. So we know that. But what's interesting is people that lifelong had poor sleep hygiene have higher incidence of Alzheimer's. So there's been research studied on this. We also know that sleep apnea, people that suffer from sleep apnea, they stop breathing at night. And then during the day, they're exhausted and they have memory loss issues. But that is treatable. Sleep apnea is treatable. So if you're snoring at night, or if you believe that you feel like you're sleeping a lot, but you're waking up and you're tired the whole day and have memory loss, definitely check out sleep apnea as an option. So sleep is extremely, extremely important to our cognition. In fact, I once taught my course, my online course, and one of the people in the course, after we talked about a lot of the different factors, and I even did a memory assessment with him, he knew right away that his memory loss was coming from the fact that he was not sleeping well. He was struggling with sleep issues for a long time, and he knew that was the connection. I also want to mention, I know Yohudis is into this as well, CBD oil can be very helpful for sleep. People that are struggling with sleep, Yohudis could talk more about that, but I know she's into the CBD oil. It's amazing for sleep, but don't take anything without asking your doctor, of course. I just one more thing about sleep. Of course, there are a lot of solutions. We won't go into the solutions now because that's a whole webinar. But one more interesting research about sleep with soldiers. Soldiers who got 7 hours of sleep at night were 98% accurate on the range. And those who got 4 hours of sleep were 15% accurate. And as they slept less, their accuracy went down. So if I ask you, who do you want fighting for you? Which soldiers? The ones that slept 7 hours or 4 hours? I think we can pretty much know how that's connected. So that's a little bit about sleep. There's obviously a lot more to say, but I want you to realize that if you're not sleeping well, that definitely could be a cause for your memory issues if you're having memory issues. Another thing is exercise. We all know that exercise is good for your body, good for your heart. It's really good for your brain. What does physical exercise do for your brain? It actually grows your brain. We have a protein that we produce called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It grows our brain. BDNF in our brain helps our grow new brain cells and repair damaged cells. So we want BDNF in our body. What helps us have more BDNF or produce more BDNF? Physical exercise, eating healthy, low stress. And what decreases our BDNF? Sugar, which Johannes just spoke a lot about. Sugar decreases the BDNF in the brain. Stress decreases the BDNF, and lack of exercise. So exercise actually is like pouring water on a plant. It makes our brain grow. Just like when you pour water on a plant, the plant grows. When you exercise, it grows your brain. Don't need more proof than that to exercise. So if you're not exercising, now's a good time to start. If you've been exercising, amazing. Do a little more of it. And you don't even have to like kill yourself or train for a marathon. You can walk. Just walk a little faster if you can. But obviously the air and the sun are also super, super good for our brain. And in fact, walking and any aerobic exercise is also good for the part of the brain that is in charge of the word recall. When I work with midlifers and seniors and they're starting to complain about where those words go, my word recall, I can't remember the words. And there was a really interesting research that was done that showed that the part of the brain that's in charge of words shrinks. It's called the left insula. And when that shrinks, you start to have word call issues. So what helps grow the left insula specifically? Walking, or really any aerobic exercise. So this is just another proof that if you're having word recall issues, one of the best things you can do besides the brain exercise that I'll talk about in a minute is exercise. So that's just really simple formula. Exercise grows our brain. Okay, just think of it as simple as that. Wait, Johannes, you're muted. Johannes, you're muted.
I said, where were you when I was looking for the word pesticides? I lost the word. Anyway, so I'm going to walk some more. Go ahead.
You want to say about the CBD oil?
Oh, I'm going to do a whole webinar on that. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw your interview, by the way. It was very good. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a little bit about the actual exercise. So again, and it's never too late. So I don't care if you're 90 years old and you've never exercised, just go walking every day. Anything. Can I ask a question?
Sure. When you're saying it's never too late, I always have that philosophy myself. I'm always in school. I'm always learning. I've got a few degrees under my belt at the age of 63, and I plan to do much more.
Yeah.
My husband thinks I'm crazy, but I do this. But anyway, I was like thinking of people that we, like you said, we know and love, and they're in situations where they're really struggling because they're in that no man's land where they're not really fully dementia, where you could just take over their lives, and yet but they're making lots of mistakes. Can they? Is it too late for them to start really like improving things, or yeah?
So it really depends. Like I feel like if people have, in terms of exercise, it's never too late. Even people with dementia are supposed to be exercising,
right?
And cognitive stimulation. So if someone has a diagnosis of dementia, the cognitive stimulation that I'll recommend is a little different than for you. Yeah. But if they're still in that like early place where you're not really sure, the diagnosis is not clear, all these things are going to help. Getting the diet and exercise and cognitive stimulation and social stimulation is so important. All those things are still going to help. It's hard to say, it's very individual. So it's hard to say, do this one thing and their dementia is going to be better. We can't say that. It's a lot of different factors that go into the health of the brain. Yeah. But we want to try. We sort of like try everything. There's supplements. Dr. Dinner has a whole, I'm working with Dr. Dinner. He has an anti-aging clinic, and he does, a lot of different testing on what's going on in the brain, toxins and hormones. And there's so many things that affect it. But we do have cases where we can reverse the dementia. There's Dr. Dale Bredesen. His book is called The End to Alzheimer's, and he is being successful in reversing dementia. And Dr. Dinner is practicing the same protocol. So I don't want to put it out there as like false hope, but it's not false hope. Dr. Bredesen is doing it. It's not easy. It's not take this one pill, you're going to be all better. No, there's no such thing. But he is looking at a lot of different factors. And the way Dr. Bredesen says is if your roof has 36 holes in it and you patch up one hole, you're still going to have leaks. leaks, right? You have to patch up all 36 holes. So the same thing with our brain. If you're eating horribly and you're not exercising and you're not socializing and you're not stimulating your brain and you're doing all the wrong things, you got to take care of all those things one by one, but you got to patch them all up and then it will help. So there's no one easy answer, which is why we're talking about all these different factors. But I do believe that it's not too late, especially with exercise. So that's a little bit about sleep and exercise. Let's talk about social stimulation. I'm sort of giving you like a little bit on each. Each of these could be its own webinar.
We know we have to contact you individually for a program or a seminar, webinar, and that we'll talk a lot more about that obviously at the end. But it's good to give a little overview of everything. This is fantastic. Thank you.
So the social stimulation, people who stay socially active live longer, period. Okay. Now, this is very challenging right now because most of us are still locked in our houses or really not going out as much, depending where you are in the world and what the situation is. It's really, really a challenge. And I will tell you from personal experience, I have a lot of seniors telling me that they are socially starved and they feel their cognition going down. And it's real. This is a public crisis, a medical crisis, Yudis. Seniors.
I know this. I have a mother that I talk to every day who's in an independent living place, and it's so sad because they can't get together and have their meals together. They did so much together, and not even old people stuff. They did fun stuff together. Went to the movies, went bowling, they did things, and they're not doing anything. They're not allowed to talk to each other now. It's very sad.
It's so important. It's really, really crucial. We don't realize, we underestimate the power of social interaction and social stimulation in our lives, and especially as we get older. So what I encourage people to do, if you're a senior or really any age and you're stuck in your house, find ways, whether it's on Zoom to interact with your family, grandchildren, or whether it's through lectures and workshops where you can interact with people or networking events. There's a lot available on Zoom. I know some of us are Zoomed out, but this is the way we need to interact these days. Or you can just sit outside on a bench and you can keep distance, but you say hi to the people going by. You need to see people. You need to talk to people, even if it means keeping your 2 meters distance. If you've been vaccinated, I don't know, I won't go on to that. But basically, try to get as much socialization as possible in the healthiest way possible for you right now, whatever your situation is. Another thing I want to say about that is volunteering and mentoring is super powerful for us, for our souls and our brains. So you can find ways to do this online. There are organizations that have opportunities for you to mentor younger people, even if it's just listening to them and talking to them. But what does that do for you? It makes you feel purposeful. It gives you meaning. You're helping someone else, and you're using your brain because you're using empathy. Empathy is in the prefrontal cortex of our brains, which we want to keep sharp. Empathy and problem-solving skills. When you are mentoring or volunteering someone else, you are using that part of the brain, and that is super important. So that's the piece on socialization. And I want to talk about brain exercises for a minute. Cognitive stimulation. So also, use it or lose it. You've all heard that. Use it or lose it. The more challenged and stimulated we can keep our brains, the more we're going to hold on to it. Now, we want to be doing new learning every day because new learning is going to make new connections in the brain, right? We want our brains to be making new connections because as we age, brain cells die. But the good news is we know about neurogenesis, which means we create new brain cells. So we want those new connections. We do that by learning something new. So if you have always wanted to learn to play an instrument or a new language or even something like computers, whatever interests you, learn something new. All these things, the arts, the languages, and the music are super stimulating to the brain. So the bottom line with all the different brain exercises, which you want to be doing, you want to be doing a variety of them because if you just do Sudoku, so that works one part of the brain, but you want to be working all the different parts of the brain. So I actually have a webinar called Train Your Brain where I go through different parts of the brain and different games that are good for different parts of the brain. But the bottom line of that is you want to be doing a variety of exercise because if you do Sudoku all day and it's not challenging, then it's not really doing what you want. So whatever you're doing, if it's challenging, great. If it's not challenging, it's not doing the job. So it could be crossword puzzles, Sudoku, word games. There's so much available online, on the phone. These things are good. I will say that we don't want to be staring at our screens all day because that's not good for the brain. Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of opportunities right now for most people to get out and do live stuff. But the minute those opportunities open up, it's always better to be doing live with people than on your screen. Dancing, for example. Dancing is physical and cognitive exercise and fun and social if you're with people. So if there's, if you can get out and go dancing with people, do it. If not, you can look up YouTube videos on different dances. If you like what we call here Rikudan, which is Israeli folk dancing, it's super fun, super challenging, and you can learn to do those dances online, and it's helping your coordination, which is helping the part of the brain that deals with coordination. So there's lots of benefits to things like that. The point is you want to do something that you enjoy and that is new for you, learning something new. It could be an online course. I'll talk about my memory course in a few minutes. Anything new learning is what is important. And another fun thing to do is if you're used to brushing your teeth with your right hand or writing with your right hand, do it with your left hand, because it makes your brain sort of think differently. It makes different wiring go on in your brain. So instead of brushing your teeth or writing with your dominant hand, do it with your non-dominant hand. You'll feel your brain working in a different way. It's fun and challenging. So that's a little bit about brain exercises. There are tons of things you could be doing that are good for you, as long as it's challenging. You just don't want to be staring at a screen all day. So make sure you intersperse that with a lot of other different activities that are fun and interesting and challenging.
Rena,
yeah.
Can you tell us, first of all, everybody should check Rena's Facebook page. I'm going to put a banner up about that. What is your Facebook page called? Because then I'll write it on the bottom here.
So my business page is Memory Matter. My Facebook group, I'll put the link to my Facebook group under this video so that people could join the group. I have a group for midlifers and seniors. It's called Memory Matters, Tips and Tricks for Midlifers and Seniors. It's a Facebook group where we post funny things in there about aging. I put lives in there, like I do some interviews in there. I post some of my own memory tips. That's where I also advertise anything that I'm offering, my courses and stuff. So it's Memory Matters, Tips and Tricks for Midlifers and Seniors is the group, and my business page is Memory Matters. That's the name of my business.
Memory Matters, Tips and Tricks for Midlifers
and Seniors. Yeah.
And
my website, which is scrolling across the screen, renayudkowsky.com, you can reach me there. You can email me. You can join my email list. If you join my email list, you will get a freebie, which is it's a PDF of the difference between normal and abnormal memory loss. People always come to me and say, Rena, this and this is happening to me. How do I know if it's normal or not? So I made a checklist of normal versus abnormal memory loss. And that is a freebie for joining my email list. So if you just go to my website and you can join my email list from there, there's a few buttons and you just click join my email list. You'll automatically get that PDF of the difference between normal and abnormal memory loss. I just want to give you 2 more memory tips. Okay. 2 more memory tips. Number 1, focus and concentration is a very important piece of memory. So if you go to the fridge and open the fridge and can't remember what you came for, the good news is that it's not your memory. It's your focus and concentration, because you had a thought. The thought was, I need milk from the fridge. Between that thought and when you got to the fridge, a lot happened, right? Your brain went all over the place. It might have gone to Honolulu and back, right? So when you get to the fridge, you go, what I come for? But it's not a memory problem. It's your brain got distracted by other thoughts. So I'm going to give you a really simple solution, and you can use this for other examples also. It sounds silly, but it works. When you have the thought, I need the milk from the fridge, you say milk, 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 milk till you get to your fridge. Because what is that? It keeps you focused on that task. Because we tend to multitask. We think we're good at multitasking, but it trips up our brain and it makes us feel stressed. So we want to stop multitasking so much and focus on one thing at a time. You will find your memory, what we're calling your memory gets better when you stop multitasking, but it's not your memory. It's because you're not trying to do 100 things at once. So multitasking is not good for your brain. So if you're having memory issues, you need to stop multitasking. And even if you're not having memory issues, you should stop multitasking. Now, for those of us that are ADD and go all over the place at once, we feel stressed, right? We feel stressed when we do that. So if we can just slow it down a bit, be more mindful. This is where all the mindfulness practice comes in, because I ate breakfast today. If I was reading my phone or reading the newspaper or listening to a class while eating breakfast, I might not remember what I had for breakfast. But is that a memory issue? No, it's not a memory issue. It's I wasn't paying attention to what I was eating. I was not mindful. I was not present.
Yeah.
The more mindful we are, the more likely we are to remember what we're doing. So the next time you forget something, ask yourself, did I even pay attention to this in the first place? And you'll realize that often you didn't. So it's about mindfulness and paying attention. And I have a whole webinar on focus and attention. And that you just keep talking out loud, saying out loud, milk, milk, milk. What are you doing? You're using your senses, which when you talk out loud, you hear yourself saying what you want to remember. Same thing with when you lock the door. How many of you have locked the door and then an hour later you can't remember? You know, let's say you're an hour from home and you can't remember whether you locked your door. That happens a lot to people.
Well, that's an automatic thing too. That's automatically.
Exactly.
And then there's times when you forget. Yeah.
Exactly. You did not pay attention to the fact that you locked the door. The easiest solution to that is say it out loud. I now locked my door. So an hour later, you say, oh no, did I lock my door? Yes, I remember saying out loud, or I heard myself say, I'm now locking the door. The more senses you use to encode a memory, the more likely you are to remember it. And you can use, it's such an easy technique and it really works. I've given this to thousands of people. They love it. So when you turn off your stove, when you take your medicine, I can give you 100 examples of how to use this. Say it out loud. I am now taking my pills. I am now turning off the stove. I am now locking my door. Or I have locked my door. I have turned off my stove. When you hear yourself say it, you are much more likely to remember it later. That is one of the best memory tips I can give you today.
Thank you so much. Wow, This has been fascinating. And I want you to tell us how we can get on your webinars. And are they live webinars? Are they recorded?
Okay, so I have been doing live webinars for senior programs all over the world. So if you or anyone you know is part of a senior program that could enjoy a webinar on focus and memory or train your brain, or even I did a great webinar. I taught hundreds of people how to remember a list of 20 words. And at first, they did not think they could do it. I taught them the technique. And then at the end, we did it again, and they all did better remembering those words. So that was really cool. So if you know anyone that is interested, those are live webinars that I do for different groups. The other thing I have that I want to talk about is called Remembership. It's a 3-month membership program, Remembership. And that is not live. That is pre-recorded videos. Every week you get a short video of a memory tip with a brain exercise. And I have all these varied brain exercises that I mentioned before, math and word recall and all different interesting, fun brain exercises. So every week you watch a short video, you do a brain exercise, and then once a month, we jump on a live group coaching call where I'll answer your questions about those videos. We'll go over some of the information. And I have a lot of members in here now, and they are loving it. I'm getting great feedback. And the fun thing about that is it's at your convenience. You don't have to show up to live anything. It's you watch it when you want. I have a WhatsApp group. If you have a question, we have a WhatsApp group of the members. So it's really fun. You can get instant answers of something, or you can wait till the coaching call to get your answers. So that you can start anytime. It doesn't expire, and you get lifetime access to the video. So if you don't have time this week to watch the video from this week, next week you can watch 2 videos. So people are loving that. It's very convenient. And you can also, on my website, which is scrolling across, renayudkowsky.com, there's a big banner that says, getting older does not equal losing your memory. And it says Remembership button. When you click on that, it'll give you all the information about Remembership and how to sign up.
Great. Thank you so much. This really ties in so well with, don't forget everybody, all the good foods to eat and all the bad foods to avoid, because we just don't even realize that everything affects us on such a micro level and a macro level. And we can really take charge of it. And that's such a positive video, because it gives us so much hope for people who, like, even in my age group, obviously in my 60s, I want to start doing this now. You look at people that are older and you think, I don't want to be there, there are people that's their biggest fear, and then they're the ones that it happens to, and it's sad, but they can do something about it now. I like that idea too, that even if it might not do magic, 100% turnaround, it certainly will make any little thing you do will be an improvement, whether it's walking or sleeping better or eating better. I always tell people they pay me money to tell me everything that their mother told them to do.
Right.
Early, eat your vegetables, drink your water. But it's true. It all really helps. It helps prevent us from getting really sick when we're exposed to the COVID, to helping from improving our memory. So thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything else you want to add about your website or how people can reach you or anything?
That's it. From my website, you really can get everything. You can get onto my email list. You can contact me. If anyone has questions about anything I said or wants more information, just email me. I answer all my emails personally, and I'm happy to be in touch with anyone. And just get on my email list, and you'll see when I'm offering what I hope to offer my full course after Passover. The full course is like the 18-hour, all the techniques, everything about memory. And that's comprehensive, and that's over 12 weeks, 18 hours. And I hope to do that in a few months. So if you're interested in that, just get on my email list, and then you'll know when I'm offering it.
Yeah, I'm going to get on that list. I just want to tell our audience, too, that even though Rena lives in Israel, you don't have to live in Israel to contact her or to be part of her groups, because she's many international clients, correct?
Yes. I work with people on Zoom. I worked with people in America. I had people in my course from Australia, Canada, England. It's so amazing.
Fantastic. Well, good luck to you. Yeah. And thank you so much for taking time in your busy schedule. And we really appreciate it. We learned so much from you today. Okay, have a great afternoon. Okay, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Rena, wait.